Donald Trump's administration has intensified its military campaign against Islamic State (IS) in Somalia, marking a significant escalation in the U.S.'s efforts to combat terrorism in the region.
This aggressive approach reflects Trump's broader foreign policy strategy, which prioritizes the use of military force to neutralize perceived threats and assert U.S. dominance on the global stage.
However, the decision to target IS in Somalia also raises questions about the long-term implications for regional stability and the effectiveness of military intervention as a counterterrorism tool.
Remember to subscribe to this YouTube channel to stay updated.
You can also like this video and share your views below.
Somalia has long been a hotspot for extremist groups, with Al-Shabaab being the most prominent militant organization in the country.
However, in recent years, a faction of IS has gained a foothold in Somalia, posing a new challenge to both the Somali government and international forces operating in the region. While IS's presence in Somalia is relatively small compared to Al-Shabaab, its ability to attract recruits and carry out attacks has made it a growing concern for U.S. policymakers.
Trump's decision to target IS in Somalia is driven by several factors.
First, it aligns with his administration's hardline stance on terrorism, which emphasizes preemptive strikes and maximum pressure on extremist groups.
By taking the fight to IS in Somalia, the U.S. aims to prevent the group from expanding its influence and establishing a stronger base of operations in the region.
This approach is consistent with Trump's broader strategy of confronting adversaries head-on, as seen in his administration's actions against IS in Syria and Iraq. Second, the escalation reflects the U.S.'s strategic interest in the Horn of Africa. Somalia's location along key shipping routes and its proximity to the Arabian Peninsula make it a critical area for U.S. national security. Allowing IS to gain a stronger foothold in Somalia could destabilize the region and create new opportunities for the group to launch attacks against U.S. interests. By targeting IS, the U.S. aims to safeguard its strategic assets and prevent the spread of extremism. However, the intensified military campaign has sparked debate about its potential consequences. Critics argue that airstrikes and other military actions risk exacerbating the conflict in Somalia, leading to civilian casualties and further radicalization.
The U.S. has faced criticism in the past for its drone strikes in Somalia, which have sometimes resulted in unintended harm to civilians.
A more aggressive approach could undermine efforts to build trust with local communities and weaken the Somali government's ability to address the root causes of extremism. Moreover, the focus on IS raises questions about the U.S.'s broader strategy in Somalia. While IS is a growing threat, Al-Shabaab remains the dominant militant group in the country, with a far greater capacity to destabilize the region. Some analysts argue that the U.S. should prioritize efforts to counter Al-Shabaab, rather than diverting resources to a relatively small IS faction.
Ultimately, Trump's warpath against IS in Somalia reflects his administration's preference for military solutions to complex problems.
While this approach may yield short-term gains, it also highlights the need for a more comprehensive strategy that addresses the underlying drivers of extremism and supports long-term stability in the region. As the U.S. continues its campaign, the challenge will be to balance immediate security concerns with the broader goal of fostering peace and development in Somalia.